Hello, welcome back to the I'm Glad I Know YouTube video series sponsored by Health Education Learning Project in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm your host, Phillip Turner, and today we have Jason Amon from the Law Office of Jason Amon here to help us tackle a couple of questions. Okay. The headliner today is gay divorce. 2015 was a landmark year with the passing of the marriage equality ruling, and with that ruling came so many marriages last year. Unfortunately, it came with a lot of divorce as well. We're now experiencing gay divorce. We have a couple of questions from our listening viewers. Our first question comes from David from Fort Worth. It reads, "Dear Help, my partner and I have been together since 2005, 10 years before the marriage equality ruling. We have not gotten married, but I'm curious now if our time together counts as a common law marriage. And if we were to split up, would we need to get an actual divorce?" What do you think?
All right, so this issue deals with common law marriage. There are three elements to common law marriage in Texas. You have to live together, you have to have meant to be married, so maybe an exchange of rings, something like that, and then introducing yourself to the public as spouses. So if you've done those three things, you're married. It's called common law marriage, sometimes informal marriage, but it's no less valid than if you had a huge ceremony and a license and all of that. And so the issue there is, are judges going to go back in time and say that marriage started in 2005? Or are they going to say that that marriage started with the Obergefell ruling? There are a lot of reasons to think that it should be retroactive. Already we can go back and change birth certificates and death certificates to include someone as a spouse because they weren't recognized before. Clarence Thomas, of all people, wrote a decision in an unrelated case that said when a law is unconstitutional, it's unconstitutional back in time to when it was first passed. However, I've had some same-sex couples in judges here in Tarrant County and been told no, that they won't recognize those retroactive common law marriages. Eventually someone will appeal and that will settle the issue, but for now it could go either way.
Let's just go to our next question. It comes from Justin from Arlington. It reads, "Dear Help, my boyfriend and I have been together 3 years now and have been discussing getting married. What can we do to protect ourselves in case it does not work out? Any advice you can give us would be greatly appreciated." I'm a little online with Justin as well because I want to make sure that my Beyonce CDs and Ariana Grande CDs is protected. Can you help us out?
I can. The issue here is community property. So there are just a handful of community property states. Texas is one of them. And what that means is that if you acquire property during the marriage, the law is going to presume that that's 50-50. So you would get half the CDs, your partner would get the other half of the CDs. So if that's a problem for you, you can do a prenuptial or a postnuptial agreement. And this is just a contract. This is a contract between spouses where you can change those default rules. But when you're doing that, here's some things to think about. It's not just things that you can see and touch. Retirement plans are a really big issue with a lot of people. So if you don't want to lose half of your retirement, you need to have a contract in place. The other thing is debts. Unfortunately, a lot of people split up and they're not fighting over who gets the assets. They're fighting over who's not going to get the debts. So all of that is part of community property in Texas.
Okay, well, I'm not ready for marriage yet, but I thank you for letting me know how to protect my CDs.
All right.
Everybody, Jason Amon, thank you so much again for joining us today. And thank
here.
you guys for tuning in as well. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. And then it's very important to update your syphilis and HIV status every 3 months or earlier if you need to, depending on how sexual active you are. Please remember, it's so important for everybody to get tested for HIV as well as all other STIs and know your status. If you have any questions, you can contact helpfw.org for testing hours as well as more information about testing. Once again, my name is Phillip Turner, your host. I'm Glad I Know YouTube video series. See you guys next time.